Welcome to the 34th Street Holistic Garden and Education Interest Meeting. We have an administrative team here, James Franklin, which is me, Executive Director, Michael Thornton, Community Outreach Manager, working the PowerPoint, and Ms. Esther Hawthorne, Financial and Legal Director, Ms. Claudette Walker, Project Manager. It's a model that deeply rooted in social justice and democracy. The ownership is in those who tend it. Social justice, democracy, and community are core values of a community garden, along with the belief that access to healthy food is a human right. Biggest thing is right here, it's going to be organic. No pesticides or herbicides, no potential toxics or hazard materials used to control bugs and weeds, no unnatural or man-made chemicals. Talking about synthesized chemicals, fertilizers. Only organic fertilizers and natural controls. We're looking to reach out to volunteers, horticulturists, organizations, master gardeners, seniors from the surrounding communities. There's two senior centers that are real close within a mile from dietitians, Miss Alicia. We'll be looking forward to seeing you again. Nutritionists, SNAP beneficiaries, and rental plots, educational opportunities. Mr. Michael, we're looking for you, okay? And festivals, concert, farmers market, and the CSA. The CSA, that's like a program where you actually participate in helping the garden get started, right? I mean, at a set fee, and you get a certain amount of produce. Each and every, crop, when the crop rotates, you get it. And we're actually reaching out to local businesses, some faith-based organizations as well, and anybody else, etc., that like to participate. I mean, any type of donation, shovels, gloves, snips, leaves, when that time come around, we'll be interested. Yep. We probably do some type of fundraisers. I mean, local, federal, state, and corporate grants. We're looking out for grants now. I mean, we're trying to make some deadlines. Any kind of donation, services, goods. We're looking to do a Kickstarter. We're going to look at doing a farmer's market. We're probably going to do ours a little bit different, meaning that we'll be open, like probably Friday evenings and Saturday mornings early. Yeah. I'm looking to do some festivals. We got a lot of local talent that we like to have out regular. And then we'll have the rental plots. Those are ways we're going to try to fund this. Then we have a Master Garden certification, internship for colleges. We have, what, 3 colleges here in the state of Mississippi that are ag colleges. And we got 2 of them that we've actually reached out to have a relationship with. Mississippi State is actually over the Master Gardeners. They're part. MSU Cares is the website. Professional hydroponic certification courses, we'll probably offer those here as well.
Our plan is that we're going to have a fruit orchard back in that corner. So this is 34th Street. And then 8th Avenue there. On the other side, to give you a frame of reference, is the Knights of Columbus building and the little baseball field. So that's where we're located in the city. And then one of the ways that we're talking about bringing in some finances to help fund the project is our rental gardens, which are down here. We decided on a couple of space sizes So I think right now we're talking about, remind me, 4 by 10, 4 by 10, thereabouts. And each of those will rent for an amount per year. And ultimately we'll decide that and rent them out, or people can, we're actually gonna raffle off a couple of them at the end of the evening for a year. And then people who live in apartments, people who rent and can't dig in their own ground can come and work in these gardens, and they're theirs to do as much or as little as they want. These will be on the other side of this tree line. If you were looking at it from the street, there's a tree line right there. And then this is the area where we'll have the staff maintain gardens, where we'll get produce for the farmer's market, for instance, where we'll run educational programs, where the hydroponics will eventually go. And then the blue areas are all the composting bins, because we're going to provide our own fertilizer. We've gotten in contact with several people who are going to provide us with animal fertilizer. And in addition to that, of course, scraps and leaves, and you can compost so much. And then this area we've designated for the farmer's market, the concerts we're planning. There's a little stage up there for free music, and I mean, we really want to make this a community space that people look forward to visiting. This is not an exclusive thing for just a certain few people who like to garden. So we're really excited about it. And so far we've done this. But we'll get there.
A little bit of my background is working with the community, whether it was with WIC or right now I'm working with a lot of coastal family health centers, and I work with a lot of kids. And one of the main things I see when I ask about what they're eating, especially with snacks, it's always like the cheese puffs or the cookies. And I think with this having a community garden, it's just more options for them, because a lot of the families I see are lower income, and so they think this is more expensive to get the fresh fruits and vegetables, and the community garden will kind of help with that. And so it will also help the community, you know, become a little bit healthier, but also starting with the kids, they start to develop healthy habits as far as their eating habits, that if hopefully as they grow into adulthood, they continue their healthy eating habits. A lot of them don't go to the doctor unless they're an illness or they really, really sick. And so they might be eating bad, but they never go to the doctor, so the doctor never say, okay, your kid is a little bit overweight, or let's make some changes. And so they usually don't do anything about their child's weight until it's too late, whether we're starting to see more of the juvenile diabetes. If we can get our kids to eat a little bit healthier, I think that'll definitely help with those numbers.
Community liaison specialist with Environmental Protection Agency, and they are actually just waiting. They're waiting for go. You know, once we can get everything lined in what we need, then they are ready, you know, to pitch in and help as well. GSA, we have them on board. USDA, we have them on board. So I'm just mentioning a couple of the federal agencies that have actually said that they can offer resources. I did a lot of research to find out several years ago in this area there was not a lot, well, really there weren't any at that time, any hydroponic, aquaponic gardens, and we felt like that, you know, somewhere down the line it would become relevant, that perhaps, you know, that would be something that we could actually start to develop. So about 4 months ago, the opportunity opened, and of course through Micah and James and Esther, we met and started to talk about just how we were going to frame the garden. We wanted something that was state of the art, not just your ordinary community gardens that we normally see here, and that people put together. You know, they have all this energy about putting it together, they get started and it goes no place. So what we talked about, of course, as Micah has mentioned, the fact of not only just having a garden per se, but having one that would involve the whole community, and the whole community being not just Gulfport, but the whole Mississippi Gulf Coast. Something that vulnerable communities could get involved in, as well as any community could get involved in, and all people can get involved in. And that kind of brings in the diversity, cultural diversity understanding, as well as, making Mississippi, especially the Gulf Coast, Mississippi, a healthy place to live, work, play, and raise families. The concept model that you see here, some of what we just talked about, the fact of having, engaging the community in growing healthy foods and practicing healthy living through gardening, food production, education, and training. And to mention that, another part of what we are looking to do is actually have an education center. With the education center, what will happen through that is that people will actually learn not only about how to grow healthy foods, but also learn how to turn small plots into, healthy eating plots, so to say. But anyway, we're looking at the education center as well, in that it will be able to teach children, bringing children into the fold. We're hoping we're going to have a children's garden, and where kids can start young, because if you can start young, eating vegetables and learning how to eat healthy and learning how to think healthy, then of course that is something that can be passed down from generation to generation. We talked about doing festivals, as Micah mentioned as well. And with the festivals, we're looking at maybe having an art market, and along with the Fresh Market, or the
Farmers market.
Yeah, the farmers market, where it kind of feeds into each other, where people can actually come and sell their goods, as well as having the art side of things, which will bring in that cultural diversity again. So we're looking at, my mind just skyrockets when I think about state of the art. I do a lot of research. I look at a lot of the larger cities. I think James went out to California, and he can talk a little bit about how excited he was when he came back, because just seeing all those models in operation is something that really pumps your blood, so to say. We're not looking at just a state of the art garden. We're looking at long-term other things that we can do to bring into this area. I think that the time is right, that people are now turning toward healthy living, growing healthy foods. It has been really a lot of interest in what we are doing. It's just the fact of is that we have a couple of little tweaks that we need to complete in order to get things started, and hopefully that will happen within the next month or so. And once that happens, then we're ready to roll up our sleeves and dig in the dirt.
Some of the future things we'd like to do is like a monthly newsletter, where we have participation from emails that we may get, or Facebook posts we may get from people, and mediation and meditation and yoga classes, art classes. And we'll have space for special events. I mean, if you got some interest, you can present it to us, and it may be something that we can accommodate you with. You can sign up for area of interest. You could join one of the garden committees, volunteer your time, or you can donate, or you can just spread the words. Tell your neighbors, your friends. I mean, you can, whatever profession you in, you may tell some of them, hey, realtors, you can tell some of the other brokers, right? Hey, I got an agent, this is what they doing. And like where you're at, you can tell some of those about us.
Thank y'all all so much for coming out on a weeknight. We really appreciate it, and especially to our guest speaker, Ms. Jones.